Hope everyone's having a good morning out there or afternoon, whatever time of day it happens to be where you are at. Make sure we got our camera set up properly here. Hope everybody's doing good. You can shout yourselves out in the comments section and let me know where you are checking in from. Let me know your name and where you are checking in from. I got Facebook going to my right. I got Instagram going to my left. Shout yourselves out in the comments section and let's get into it. I'm trying to figure out what I want to put as my pinned comment here. I'm gonna put my daily motivation text. So if you want to get the daily motivation, just hit me at this number right here, which I just put in the comment here on IG. I'll put it in Facebook too. But shout yourselves out in the comment section, folks. We're gonna get into this in a second. Actually, damn, I can't even get it. It's not letting me pin the comment. I don't know why. As y'all coming in though, shout yourselves out in the comment section. I don't know why it's not allowing me to pin this comment. But anyway, my daily motivation text is 305-384-6894. Just click the link in my bio on IG if you can't see that comment that I posted there. As y'all are coming in, again, shout yourselves out in the comment section. And why the hell is it not letting me pin this comment? I'm just trying to catch up to these. I'm trying to get my comment pinned and it's not giving me the opportunity here. But anyway, we're going to get into this and get into what we need to get into here. We ain't going to take too much time. Hope everybody is doing good. Hope everyone's had a great month. Y'all having a good first half of the year. It is June 30th. Is that the correct date? Yes, today is June 30th, 2022. It's the only one we will ever have. And what we're going to talk about here today, you see the topic. The topic is goals, and that is specifically what we're talking about. This is it's not a metaphor. I'm not going around it. Sometimes I might use the title and kind of talk around it, but I'm talking specifically about goals here today. And here's what I want to get into. Before I even get to that, let me introduce myself for those of you who might not know me, even if you're following me. My name is Dre Baldwin. I'm a former 9-year pro athlete. Basketball was a sport. I have created this whole brand and framework called Work on Your Game that includes, you see my book, Work on Your Game right there. I've written 31 books. I've done 4 TEDx talks. I have created this whole framework, brand, and business. It's all about taking the tools and the strategy and the attributes that allows any athlete to get to the top 1% in sports and applying those tools and strategies at work and in everyday life. And what I want to talk about here today is goals. And I want to talk about this specifically because I want all of you to understand the value of goals and why they matter so much and why you need to be setting goals. You need to be setting them intentionally and you need to be doing this on purpose, and your goals need to be written down. And this might be something that maybe you've heard somebody talk about before. Maybe you've heard me talk about it before. Maybe you have even said it yourself, but I want to make sure you are actually applying this stuff and not just repeating it, because I send out my daily motivation text every day, and a lot of people get really good. What happens with a lot of us in life is that we get really good at repeating the cliches. We get really good at repeating the sayings that sound good, but we're not actually applying the stuff, even though we're repeating it over and over again. So I want to make sure you are not making this mistake. That's what I want to talk about here today. So first of all, here's the first thing everybody needs to understand. All success in life is both intentional and on purpose. All success is created intentionally and it is created on purpose. Nobody creates success and absolutely nobody sustains success in life by accident. Any of you who has created success in any area of your life, it doesn't have to be all of your life, just any area. If you are successful financially, if you are successful physically, if you are successful in your relationships, if you're successful in your career, if you're successful, you have a lot of friends, if you're successful in how you feel mentally, if you're successful spiritually, if you're successful in anything that you do in life and you have sustained that success, I guarantee you, without even knowing you, I know this to be a fact, you were intentional about it. You cannot create and sustain success without being intentional and having a purpose to creating that success. Now, people say you did something on purpose. On purpose means what? There is a purpose behind your actions and you are focused on that purpose and you are staying on that purpose. That's how success is created. So anybody you know who does well with money, I guarantee you they're always thinking about it and they have plans and strategies and intentions around doing well with their money. They're always thinking about it. That's why they're able to do it over and over again. Anybody you know who's in great physical shape and they're always in great shape, I guarantee you there's a plan behind it. They are thinking about, all right, what's my workout going to be for the next 5 days? Where am I going to go to the gym? I'm going on vacation. How am I going to get my workout in while I'm on vacation? Because it matters that much to them to make sure they keep doing it. Anyone you know who has very solid relationships, I guarantee you that they are intentional about, let me make my rounds, let me make my phone calls, and let me touch in with these people. I haven't talked to my man in like a month. Let me make sure I call him and keep that relationship going. And they don't just let it happen however it happens. Anything that you are good at over a sustained period of time, there is an intention behind it. There is a purpose behind it. There's a plan behind it. And you make sure you follow those intentions and you follow those plans. You do not allow it to just happen. And this is, even though this kind of sounds, sometimes I don't even give messages like this because it sounds so, to me, it sounds so basic. It sounds so plain that some people might listen to this and say, well, Dre, that sounds like common sense, quote unquote, common sense. Well, everybody calls things common sense once you already know it. But here's the question about anything that you will call common sense. Are you applying it on a consistent basis? See, it's one thing to call something common sense, another thing to see if you're living out that common sense. How many of you are in the areas in which are important to you? Let's just say the top 3 areas of your life in which you want to create success. Are you intentional and on purpose in those areas? And we're going to talk about how to know if you're being intentional and on purpose, because anybody can say that they're being intentional and on purpose, but we're going to find out. I'm going to give you some simple litmus tests for you to figure out if you are being intentional and on purpose about the things that you want to create in life, because there is a clear line of delineation here that everybody needs to understand. All right. So the first thing is this. Today's June 30th, and I'm doing this live specifically on this date for a reason, because today is officially, we can call this officially halftime in the year 2022. Now, I want all of you to think back to December 31st, 2021, New Year's Eve, or just think back to last December or New Year's Day, whatever day, whenever all of you are talking about this new year, new me, all these things I'm going to do next year, all these goals I'm going to create. And you know how everybody gets all excited in the new year, the New Year's resolutions and how you're going to change and all these things you're going to do different because you have a new year and a good start. And I'm not bastardizing. There's nothing wrong with deciding that, okay, it's a new year. This is a good reason to set goals. There's always a good reason to set goals. So if the new year is your reason to do it, absolutely fine. My question is, how much of those goals have you actually followed through on through 6 months? So we had January, February, March, April, May, and June. How many of those goals have you actually followed through on in the 6 months that we've had so far this year? Have you actually been doing the stuff that you said you were going to do? Since we're at halftime, this is a time for you to take stock. This is just like New Year's Day is a good excuse to create goals. Right now is a good excuse to look at those goals and ask yourself, where are you at? Now, here's the thing. When it comes to looking at your goals, first of all, do you have goals written down? Right, if I went to you and said, let me see your goals, I want you to tell me, I want you to show me. Are your goals written down on paper, whether digitally, physically, to where you can actually see them and look at them and you can say, okay, I did this, I'm halfway on that, I didn't start on that, I need to work on that one. This one I've done absolutely nothing. Do you actually have those in place? Do you have goals written down? If it's halftime, you should be able to look at the scoreboard, which is your goals, and say, all right, where my team is winning, my team is losing. All right. Any of you watch a sports game, as soon as you turn on a sports game, what's the first thing you look at? If you turn on a sports game, let's say the Warriors and the Boston Celtics are playing in a game, you come into the room and the game is already going on. What's the first thing you want to know when you walk in the room, when you turn on the TV? What's the first thing you want to see? This is not a rhetorical question. Somebody answer that question in the comments. When you turn on a sports game and the game has already begun, what's the first thing that you look for when you turn on a sports game? Or if you go to a game, now, if you, let's say you get to the game, the Miami Heat game, and the game already started, you walk in the arena, what's the first thing you want to know when you walk into the gym? You go to a high school football game and it's the second quarter, what's the first thing you want to know? Andy just answered. Mike, thank you. JJ. All right, CJ. All right, that's not a bad answer, CJ, but I would go with a different answer. Just Dimes, you got it. All right, a bunch of y'all got the answer. The first thing you want to know is the score. So think about this, folks. We all know that sports games end. And so somebody said how much time is left. A couple people said how much time is left. I wouldn't go with that as an answer, but it's not a wrong answer necessarily. I would go with the score. I want to know what the score is, but how much time is left matters too, because that tells you how much opportunity might be left for whatever team is losing to actually catch up, right? Or whatever team is winning to finish out the game and win. Well, here's the thing you got to understand about your own life, because the same way sports has a scoreboard and we want to know what the score is and we want to know how much time is left. Guess what? Your life is the exact same way. Now, the difference between our lives and a sports game is that we don't know how much time is left, but we all know that eventually that clock's going to hit all zeros. Can we all agree to that? Given the current science that we all understand, everybody at some point, the clock's going to hit all zeros and there is no more time left to play. So knowing this and that being a variable that we don't quite have an answer to, we need to know what the score is, because eventually that clock's going to hit all zeros. You want to make sure you have won the game by reaching all your goals. What is the score in your life? The score in your life is you looking at your goals and asking yourself, where am I at? What have I achieved? The thing is, when you go to a football game or a baseball game or a basketball game, there's a big board up there with all the lights up that tells you exactly what the score is. This team has this much. This team has this much. This is how much time is left. Here's my question to you. If we were to look at the scoreboard of your life, do we even know what the score is? Do you even know what the score is? Forget about me. It's not my business to know what the score is of your life, but it's your business to know what the score is of your life. Do you even know? And the only way you can know what the score is in your life is you must have goals, and you need to be checking yourself against those goals and saying, I did this, I've done this, I haven't done this, I need to do this, I need to move on to that. Are you even doing that? Because at halftime of a game, you can't go in the locker room at halftime and say, well, we don't even know what the score is, or we don't know. Or do we need to play better? Are we doing good? Are we on our way to winning? Are we on our way to losing? If you have no idea, how do you know what adjustments to make? How do you know what to do next? This is why I said all success is intentional and on purpose. To be intentional and on purpose, you got to be conscious about everything that's happening around you. So when it comes to your life, where are your intentions? And your intentions are reflected in your actions, not in your words, not even in your thoughts. They can show through your words and your thoughts, but they are reflected in your actions. If I want to know what somebody's really about, I heard somebody say this the other day. You want to know what somebody's really about? Just hit the mute button on everything that they say and just watch them. Watch what they do. And I say, don't look at somebody's mouth if you want to know what they're about. Just watch their feet, and they will show you exactly what they're about. So my question to you, and I've said this question like 3 times already, do you have your goals written down? Do you have them written down? It's halftime today. So between now and tomorrow, which is the first of the beginning of the second half, like the third quarter, you should be able to look at your goals for the year 2022 and say to yourself, here's where I'm at. Here's what I've done. Here's what I haven't done. Here's what I need to get better at. Have you done that? I was talking about that this morning. I was just in Evernote, and I was looking at my own goals. I was looking at my goals for the year. I was looking at my goals for the month. This moves on to my next point. You need to set goals. You should have goals for the whole year. You should have goals for every month. The way you set your goals for the month is by looking at your goals for the year, and then you pull out during each month, okay, here are the things I'm going to do this month that are going to help me get to the goals for the year. And you can set bigger goals than that, even goals for the next 5 years, goals for the next 10 years, goals for your lifetime. This is all about being intentional and on purpose. And as I said, the reason why you want to do this is not just to say that you did it, and not because I told you to do it, but because anything that you're successful at in life, you are intentional and on purpose about it, meaning you are thinking about it, you are conscious about it, and you set plans around it. It does not just randomly happen. You are not going to create success in the next 5 years of your life by just randomly showing up every day. And even if you work hard, even if you think you're a good person, even if you have positive intentions, if you don't have plans and you are not on purpose about it, and you don't have a strategy for achieving it, you will not achieve the outcomes that you want in your life. You're not even going to come close unless you are intentional about it. This is why intentions matter so much. This is why you got to be thinking about the things that you want to achieve in life, and then doing something about the thoughts. We know the process is be, do, have. So you think about it, then you write them down, then you get a strategy, then you execute on the strategy. That's how you get the outcome. So this is why at halftime, all of us need to be taking stock of where we're at. So for everybody who's listening to me right now, no matter when you're watching this, even if you're watching this after June 30th, that's when I'm recording this, do you have goals written down? Are your goals written down? If they're not written down, write them down. Start writing goals down right now. Set goals for the second half of this year. And then every month, make goals for what you're going to do this month is going to get you to those goals by the end of the year. Everybody needs to be doing this. And every month, at the end of the month, I'll tell you what I do. Everything I'm telling you is things that I do. But every month, so today's the last day of June. So what I did today, as I looked at all my goals for the month of June, and I checked myself. I said, all right, what did I achieve? What did I not achieve? What did I come halfway on? What did I not even get started on? What goals am I going to carry over from June into July, because I'm still going to do them? what goals do I need to adjust? Maybe I reached the goal, but I want to reach it again. Maybe I set a goal for, I want to make this much revenue. I want to do that again next month. Maybe I want to do a little bit more next month. So what goals do I carry over? What goals do I need to adjust? What goals should I just delete because clearly it's not that important to me because I didn't do anything on it? All of those things I'm looking at every month. And then I'm looking at my goals for the year and asking myself, okay, so now I have this much time left in 2022. What do I need to do in the month of July that's going to get me closer to actually reaching that goal by the end of December? All of these things I'm doing every single month. This is taking stock of where you're at. And then when it comes to your breaking down your month every week and then every day, all you're doing is looking at the monthly goals. And then that's how you pull out your weekly goals. You look at your weekly goals. That's how you pull out what you're going to do every single day. And the things you're going to do every single day, they go on your calendar so that you schedule these things out so that you actually have to get them done. So looking at my calendar for today, here's my calendar for the day. It shows you right here. So I'm going to do this live right here after this. Then I'm going to be out for a minute. Then I got to do I'm going to be doing some CRM stuff. Then I got an interview that I'm doing. Then I got some event planning that I'm doing. Then I got some website stuff I need to do. Then some email writing that I need to do. And then that takes me through the rest of my day, then to the end of the day. And I got all this stuff planned out. And I'm not telling you that to impress you, but to impress upon you. You need to be doing the exact same thing. All right, everybody here has a phone, right? Everybody's phone has a calendar app on it. Okay. So all of you know how to read and write. Okay. So there's nothing stopping you from doing everything that I just described. You got to be doing this on every single day. Your calendar, your schedule should be planned out based on what your goals are for the week. Your schedule for the week are based on your goals for the month. Your goals for the month are based on your goals for the year. And your goals for the year are based on the goals for your life. And you need to have all of these lists, and they should be constantly being updated because, again, you're not getting it if you ain't thinking about it and you're not being intentional about it. Let me offer something else. If you are kicking the can on goals, meaning let's say you set a goal for the month of June and you didn't do anything for it, and then you put that same goal in the month of July and you do nothing, then you put that same goal in the month of August and you still do nothing, you got to make some decisions. You got to make a qualitative adjustment. Qualitative adjustment means a change in approach or a change in what you're doing, meaning you might need to just delete that goal because clearly it's not that important to you, or you need to come up with a different approach to addressing that goal because you're not doing anything. You can't just keep telling yourself you need to do better and then you still don't do better. I get texts every single day. So in my text community right now, you can see this right here. This is my text community. You can see all the open texts that I have that I need to respond to. These are all my texts. And every day when people are texting me, I'm asking them a question like, what are you working on right now? And they tell me what they're working on. I ask them what's their biggest challenge. They tell me what their challenge is. And then I'll ask them something like, well, what are you doing to address that challenge? What are you doing to address this issue? Or how long have you had the issue? And too often, way too often for comfort, I get people who say something like, well, I got whatever challenge, and they tell me what it is. And then they say, well, and I say, how long have you had this challenge? They say, I had this challenge for months. I had this challenge for years. I've had the same challenge all my life. And I'm like, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? And then they'll say something they'll say something like, I need to work harder. I need to be more focused. I got to get more motivated. It'll be something about, I just need to do more of something like motivation, confidence, focus, discipline, work hard, etc., etc. Listen closely. If all it took for you to change or address a challenge that you've had your whole life, if all it took was just, I need to work harder or be more focused or be more disciplined or get more motivated, if that's all it took for you to solve the problem, you wouldn't even have the problem. I'm going to take a sip of water while y'all marinate on that point right there. If all it took for you to solve your biggest challenge was to be more motivated, more disciplined, work harder, be more focused, etc., any one of those pet phrases that sounds good, that's all it took, you wouldn't have a problem. That problem would have been handled. That's not the issue. That's not going to solve your problem. Even though it sounds good, that's not going to solve your problem. Not to say that motivation and hard work and focus and discipline, and not to say those things don't matter. Of course they do. But if you're serious about reaching your goals and you're serious about overcoming your challenges, you got to make qualitative changes. What is a qualitative change? That is a change in your approach. It's a change in what you're doing. It's a change in strategy, meaning Whatever you've been doing, stop doing that and do something different. That's what it means. And sometimes that means getting help from outside of yourself. Nothing wrong with getting help from other people to solve a challenge, because if you think about it, the most successful people, they use other people and they allow themselves to be used by other people. There's nothing wrong with using other people and getting used by other people. We do it every day when we sell things. When you sell something, you're being used by other people. They're just paying you for it, but they're still using you. And when you pay somebody else, you're using them. You hire it, you call an Uber, you're using that Uber driver, but the Uber driver is fine with being used because they're getting paid for it. All right. And Uber is taking a cut of the whole process. Nothing wrong with using others. Don't try to do everything by yourself, especially if you already tried and it's not working. All right. At some point, how many times are you going to keep doing the same thing? It's not working. All right. We call that banging your head up against the concrete wall. You're not going to break the wall. Your head's going to break before the wall breaks. So if you find yourself kicking the can on the same goals, trying to do the same stuff over and over again, it's not working, then you got to try a different approach. So as I said, your daily and weekly goals get sourced from your monthly gets sourced from your yearly sourced from your lifetime goals. And you have to have all these written down. You got to be intentional about it, and you have to be on purpose. What does that mean? What is your purpose? And are you focused on the purpose, or are you getting distracted by the nonsense and the stuff that's not actually taking you where you want to go? Now, last point I'll share here, and I'll take some questions, is you got to be able to draw a line between what's important and what's not important. Important means anything that is directly related to the goals and the outcomes that you wish to achieve. Not important is everything else. Important is anything that's related to your goal. Not important is everything else. All right, everybody got that? So when it comes to setting your goals, your job and the focus is paying attention to what's actually getting me where I want to go. But if you don't have goals, then you don't know where you want to go. It should all be written down. You should be able to look at it every single day at any moment, pull it up. All right, here are my goals. Here's where I'm going. And this also helps you in decision making. The challenge for a lot of people when it comes to decision making is they have no purpose. You don't know exactly where you're going. So when you have a question in front of you, you could do this or this or this. You have no framework for making a decision. The reason you don't have a framework for making a decision is because your goals are not clear, your intentions are not clear, and your purpose is not clear to you. And because they're not clear to you, there's no way for you to make a decision. Easy way to make a decision is to know what your goals are, know what your outcomes are, know what your purpose is. So then any challenge that comes up or any question that comes up, all you have to do is refer it against your goals, and it's easy to make a choice. Everybody got me? So let me take some questions. Somebody got a question, go ahead and post it. I don't know if I'm gonna scroll through everything that came up while I was talking. If you got a question, go ahead and post it, and I'll take a couple of them before we wrap up here. And let's see. Let me see if I see anything that is a good question. What's going on, everybody who has checked in? Shout out. What up, Dell from Cleveland? What's going on? Canada is in the house. Massachusetts is in here. Mike So Cold, what's going on? Someone asked me about Roe v. Wade. I wrote an article about that this week. So if you didn't see that, I put it up on Facebook. I put it on LinkedIn and at dreallday.com/blog. So look at any of those. You can find that article. I wrote about it this week. Let's see. I'm looking through the comments now. Anybody who came in. Somebody asked the difference between mission-driven and goal-driven. I'm not sure that that's much of it. I think that's more semantics than anything else. Sound like pretty much the same thing, depending on who you ask. The mission and the goal they can pretty much be the same thing. Let's see. Actions speak louder than words. Yeah, classic saying. That's correct. Fail to accomplish a goal in time. How long to stay on a specific goal, or do we move on? Yeah, I address that later on. If you're kicking the can, you need a different approach. You need to find a different approach. You can't just keep telling yourself you're going to reach a goal, not reach it, and then just keep saying it over and over again. So I always say I overthink way too much when creating a schedule. But when you're creating a schedule, there's nothing really to think about. All you're going to do is look at your goals for the week and the day, and you just put them in the schedule by priority. So you prioritize what's the most important thing, which you should know what the answer to that is because you have your goals written down already. So you shouldn't even have to make that. You shouldn't even have to think about anything too much except what you're going to do first, second, third, and then that's all based on priority. Let's see. I consider accomplish a goal a win. If so, how often do you celebrate? wins. I don't really celebrate wins. I just move on to the next goal. Let's see. How do you stay focused? I got an episode on my podcast. Go to workonyourgamepodcast.com, CJ. I got a bunch of episodes on focus, but you should just subscribe to the show and listen to it every day because I talk about that stuff every single day on the Work on Your Game masterclass. Some of y'all call those podcasts, but it's actually a masterclass. So we are right at 11 o'clock. Perfect timing. We got the whole message in here. I'll put this up on my feed on IG, and I'll probably put it on YouTube as well. But I'm gonna let everybody go here. I got work to do. Set your goals for the month of July. Those of you who haven't done it already, write down your goals for the month of July. I talked about this in my book. The mental workbook is up there. I'm not going to pull it down, but the mental workbook is part of the mental game super duper bundle. When you go get my book, The Third Day or The Mirror of Motivation at thirddaybook.com, you can grab the mental game super duper bundle just as part of the 4-book bundle that can come in your order. You can end up with 12 books coming out of that funnel. That is the mental workbook where I laid out how to set your goals on a day-to-day basis. But set your goals for the month of July. There's no right way to set goals. Just write them down. That's the most important thing, is they need to be written down. Write down your goals for the month of July. Make goals for the rest of the year. And you should be referencing those goals on a consistent basis. And you set your daily schedule based on what your goals are. So you're not wasting time doing stuff that's not taking you anywhere because you're being intentional. As soon as you write your goals down, now you have intention. They're written down. All you got to do is look at those intentions and decide, what am I going to do today that's going to get me closer to reaching these outcomes? That's how you set goals. Do that on a day-to-day basis. All right. So any of you got any other questions for me? You can you should probably send me a text message at my number, which I already posted, but for whatever reason, is not pinning the comment. So this is my text number right there, 305-384-6894. Just click the link in my bio on IG and you can send me a text directly. And that'll be where you can ask me questions. Any of you got questions on anything that I've said here, or you can send me a DM. All right, everybody, have a great afternoon. We are out of here. Work on your game.